Re-
Whoa.
Did you all hear the voice too?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
That's
trippy. That's new.
It is now inviting you to decide if you want to stay in the meeting that is being recorded.
We had to consent.
I like
I
it.
approve.
That
I
is
appreciate it.
smart.
We're not expecting it.
All right. Excuse me. So last time on A Crown of Cold Iron, our intrepid Fey Gumshoes, or Fey adjacent, have been on the trail of a serial arsonist who has apparently been using supernatural fire to attack religious sites around the town of Queensboro. The nature of the attacks seems intended to cast suspicion on the Solonists. Because of that connection, Lieutenant Davis enlisted Lexi, who enlisted the rest of you, to try and get to the bottom of what's really going on. What you have found is, I think, fair to say, a confusing web of interconnected individuals and religions. You've been on the trail of mysterious hoodied figures who are using some kind of fire magic. You are following up currently on a group called the Radiant Dawn. And during your visit, one of the new members who Auric had been sent to investigate acted a little odd. And so you all decided to stalk this poor girl across the whole town all day long. And now you all are lurking outside of her apartment, looking in the window. Except some of the more observant among you just noticed that the street around you seems to have changed. You were sitting on a fairly standard sort of downtown apartment block, and now it's weird. It seems like some of the street lights haven't just gone away, but have actually been integrated into towering trees that are sweeping up overhead. Many of the lights have disappeared, and the last thing you heard was stomp, 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 as some massive, actually look at the word, caprine creature has apparently walked down the alley behind you all. So I'm gonna have you all roll for initiative.
Woo!
That's what I figured.
14.
8.
Oh, wait, no, 13. Wait,
No,
Oh,
that was
14.
Cyrus.
I got
Just,
13.
Ah,
I saw the 14 on my screen and the 13 on her screen, and I was like, what's going on?
and what did Zyra get?
7.
7. All
Can I
right.
write those in chat?
What?
Can I write those in chat?
Sure.
So
Auric 14. Cyrus 13.
There we go. My window was just slightly like too small, and so I couldn't see everything. All right, so you all were sitting in Pokey, the faithful sedan, looking through this window, and the area around you, you have just a moment to notice. It seems to have been subsumed into some kind of fetid, swampish jungle. There is a rotting, almost like sulfurous quality to the air. And you can see sort of shadows moving across the scant light that has remained. And I'll have you all make appropriate checks to find out more about that as your turns come up. So top of the order, first thing that happens, Auric, roll 1d4.
Small dice are good. How about a 3?
A 3, okay. Good to know. So, here's what you can see from where you're at. I've got you in the rear driver's side seat of Pokey. The buildings that were rising up on either side now seem to have been almost like, in places, sort of grown over with this swampy vegetation, and in other places just like absorbed into it. You've heard what sounds like multiple creatures behind you, and looking out ahead, you see several more sort of rapidly approaching the building where you were watching Beery. You all were watching at a pretty good distance, essentially across like a large street. You're about 150 feet away from the window you were watching. So, I'll give you more information once you decide how you would like to progress.
Information from where I am of what these creatures are.
Make a perception check.
Oh, good. I'm great at those. Hey, 16.
Oh my God.
Make an additional perception check because you're rolling at disadvantage.
Oh, how about a 6?
All right. Well, you do gather one very important piece of information. This sort of thick quality of the air. It's not just a tactile thing. It literally, you can't see more than about 20-ish feet away from you. Once it gets much further out, everything is just kind of blurs. You do see, it looks like there are 2 humanoid-sized and shaped creatures, like directly behind the vehicle, about 10 or 15 feet.
Oh, great.
Okay. And you said there were some ahead moving towards the apartment?
Yes, you just saw them as like flickers as they ran past the vehicle, or they clopped.
All right. I'm assuming that A, the windows are rolled up, but B, Pokey is an old car.
I'm also assuming they're rolled up.
No. I mean, I guess it depends on the year, but I picture Pokey as Pokey original,
Oh, as your
as my Pokey, and Pokey was a '99 Toyota Camry and had power windows.
okay, so I can't just crank it down and jump out the
But
window.
they did get stuck every once in a while. We had some great problems with that.
Well, I guess I can do it the normal person way and open the car door and step out.
As you step out, make a dexterity saving throw.
Really? Oh. Six.
As you step out of the vehicle, that thick fog, you realize the car had been partially protecting you from it. As you move into it, that sulfur scent is so thick. You just feel like you're at the bottom of a compost bin. Just this disgusting earthiness to it. And as you step out, the fog or mist in the air like brushes across you, and you're illuminated with this sort of orange flickering ghost light.
Okay. In that case, I am moving my full 30-foot speed diagonally away from the car towards, but not directly towards the apartment.
All right. That shouldn't be any trouble. It would be funny if I treated getting out of Pokey as
a movement.
Well, as dismounting, but that doesn't seem quite fair. Thematically fun, game accurate, not precisely.
Not
Right.
precisely.
So kind of from where you're standing, you're still mostly seeing sort of flickering shapes. You're a little bit further away from them now, but you can definitely see two figures moving towards Pokey and more out ahead of you. Also, you narrowly avoided putting your foot in what seems to be sections of the road that have slipped into like a tar-like consistency, almost like it's trying to find the halfway between blacktop and swamp. But you managed to walk around it without much trouble.
Okay. Then as my action, 30 feet diagonal again, this time away from the apartment and Pokey, I will cast Minor Illusion, the sound of a woman screaming.
All right. I will create a little token for your random screen.
I don't know that these things are hostile, but I suspect they are. And so I don't want to be the first one to attack, but I also don't want them to keep going.
So what is your spell save DC?
15.
All right, let's see how they do. All right. You see very distinctly, even through the fog, one of the figures, the closest one, definitely like fully turns around and is now like trying to figure out what's off in that direction. I'll go ahead and roll one more. Just seeing how smart they are.
Hopefully not very.
Yeah, hopefully not very, but who knows?
All right, that's the only one that you managed to sort of distract with that. All right, anything else?
No, because my only bonus action would light me up.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, you are literally like glowing with this flickering sulfurous ghost light.
Okay, well, in that case, I will go ahead and use my wand to cast Flame Blade.
Yes.
Wow.
So all it takes is a flicker of your draconic fire, and this flame-touched wand grows warm in your hand. All the runes ignite, and it cascades down from where you're touching it. And the energy pushes through the runes and then out the end, forming a coherent blade of flame that is actually kind of burning through through some of the gas around you. You're highly visible, but also you have a flame sword. All right, Cyrus, you are up.
All right. So did you say we can see the little shapes at all, or really just the two big ones behind us?
There's two like large humanoid size creatures back behind Pokey, and there's sort of an indeterminate number out ahead of you between you and the apartment.
Okay. Are they bunched at all?
Not really. They seem to have been sort of capering.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to see yet exactly what it is, but Auric would be able to tell. It looks like they were avoiding the sort of big swampy tar patches. The two behind you are next to each other, but the ones in front are not.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of Pokey.
All right. As you open the door, make a dexterity saving throw.
Nine.
You also, as you step out, the foggy air clings to you, and you are partially illuminated with flickering ghostly light.
How did that happen? Oh. You have a +6 and you rolled a 9 total. Oh.
It was on the 15, and then
Yep.
Dice do be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that sometimes.
all right.
Tragic and
How
painful.
aggressive is Cyrus feeling? All right. So one of the big ones got distracted by the scream.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I hold a shot to trigger on them doing something aggressive?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like, so you'll still have your movement and bonus action.
So I'm hexing the one that was not distracted.
All right. Do you want one behind you or ahead of you?
I want to hex the big one that didn't look at Oryx's illusion.
Can we tell that the ones in front are any differently sized, or do we just not know because they were just flickers?
They were just flickers. You get the impression that they're of similar size, but no, Oryx rolled real bad. You might discover more with, actually, yeah, I'll have Cyrus roll a perception check.
Am I at disadvantage?
Yes.
6.
All right. You also do not gather anything new.
They flickered.
Yep.
Is that your turn?
All right. So
Oh, no.
I'm hexing the one that didn't look at the illusion. I'm moving my 30 feet away from Pokey towards the apartment, and I am shouting at them in Sylvan. You do not belong here. This place is protected. Retire from the field now.
There is no response.
Okay.
All right. That brings us, man. Y'all didn't roll great for initiative, but they rolled worse. So it is Lexi.
Cyrus still in the car.
Okay. I had an instinct of revving Pokey and running things over, but Joe reminded me of the tar pits. So Pokey's gonna stay put for now.
Ah,
It would have been amazing.
It would have been really funny.
I wanted to do.
Well, here's what I'll say. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
You might not have noticed the tar.
Yeah. At disadvantage.
Yeah.
Can just
Sarah might be driving the car.
Hey.
Like the theme of this game is
Ah,
Zyra wants to drive.
I rolled a nat one.
Oh,
You
So
are
17.
you are not able to see much past the car.
Yeah.
I will say, just for the sake of you not having to non-meta harm yourself, you did, I think, see Oryx move around one of the patches as he moved. So you're at least vaguely aware there might be something out there on the ground that might be harmful to the car.
Yeah. Well, if the headlights, well, how about that? I would probably start off by turning on the headlights, and not being able to see jack squat wouldn't want to drive forward. Lexi is a safe driver.
Who wants to run over Faye?
I mean, they're on our turn. They're the ones that decided to come here. Got to do what you got to do to protect your home turf. All right, so I'm gonna get out of the car then.
All right, dexterity check.
Great. Dexterity
Or
check?
dexterity save.
Dexterity save. Okay, I'm gonna rage too. So should I roll that before I rage or after?
It won't matter either way.
Okay, good to know.
That's.
Is that not the right one?
Oh no, you're right.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, I rolled a 10.
You also, as you get out, you sort of brush up against this this fog, and your sort of upper torso is just illuminated. It's interesting. You're probably more conscious of the difference. This distinctly has a more almost like a gas flame quality
Okay.
to it. In terms of color and sort of effect, it's not that different from what you've seen a few times when you rage. But up close, there's definitely more of like a burning propane kind of vibe to this ghost fire that is illuminating you.
Okay. So how far away are these guys?
There are two behind Pokey that are about 30 feet away.
Okay.
And you see sort of indistinct shapes moving around between 70 and 100 feet ahead of you.
Okay.
You're at least
Wow.
close enough. You can see Auric because he's completely lit up with
Right.
his. Well, actually, you can see everyone. Everyone has failed their save so far. So you can see all your teammates. So that's good.
Sweet. So I think I'll probably go for the ones behind us since they're closer. But yeah. Let's see here. I need to equip. There we go. Raging. And so I'm going to then go up to the one that's closest to me that I can see and take a giant whack at it with my brewer's mallet.
Excellent.
Oh man. Okay, well, it's an unnatural 20.
All right.
It was almost a nat 20. That
So.
would've been really-
So as you run up to this creature with your mallet, you notice two things. This creature, I mean, is definitely not human. That tracks. As you get closer, it looks. There is a distinctly goat-like quality to this creature. It has like furry, matted haunches, like a goat, with dark fur, and then it has a gray, sort of mottled upper torso that's bare of anything. It has sort of very inhuman hands that end in big talons. And it looks, I don't know, it looks weird.
Okay.
And it smells awful.
Fantastic.
This smell of this like fog out here, this sulfurousness is overpowering this close. So you bring your mallet. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. I was gonna say, if there's anyone who knows how to deal with really disgusting smells, it's the woman who owns and runs a bar full of drunk people. All right, let's see here. What we got? We got 13 damage.
All right, 13. You beat the crap out of this thing.
Yes.
It does not quite like explode in one hit, but you literally hit it so hard. Your mallet there's just almost no resistance. There's just a cascade of crunches, and quite literally you knock a a cloud of this disgusting gas out of it as you smash into it.
All right.
All right. Zyra, your turn.
Can I roll a perception to see if I can determine where the tar pits are?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know where the tar pits are. I rolled a 9.
So I'll say this: you don't gain much additional information about the area.
Mm.
You are able to see where 2 of the tar pits are. One has sort of formed a small patch over to your left, just behind where Auric is standing. And then there's another one back behind the vehicle, sort of to the southwest. There's a much larger patch back there. There's about 50 feet of clearance. Although at this point you do have Lexi. You have Lexi behind you and Cyrus ahead of you.
I can still see a situation in which Cyrus could jump on top of the car. Oh.
I mean, he would be more easy to like get around, but once you get past him, there could be more of these pits that you can't see.
Or at least if you jump on it, it will be fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna drive the car.
You're gonna drive my car?
All right.
I presume it's okay. I'm going to assume it's a serious matter, and I drive the car forward.
All right. I swap you into the driver's seat.
Yeah, I said.
I'm impressed with your acrobatics of getting over the emergency brake.
It's very easy.
So, I mean, I would assume that the car can easily go, I mean, maybe 100-foot movement speed.
It does not have an HVAC player.
The Bluetooth is fine. Nobody knows which phone it's attached
to buy
to.
that separately.
So what is your goal in moving the car?
I
Like,
want
what are you wanting to do with it?
I want to move towards the flickering things in the front and not hit Cyrus and not run into a tar pit.
All right. Oh goodness, what kind of check is this? All right, here's how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna have you make an attack roll. We'll just call it your normal attack because you're presumably moderately proficient in a car. Make an attack roll, but if you miss by more than 5, instead of hitting one of these figures ahead of you, you are going to find one of the tar pits with the vehicle.
Okay, I don't know what you mean by make an attack roll. I don't.
It would just be like, do you have like a rapier?
No. I have a dagger.
Dagger works.
Okay, cool. And a crossbow.
Yeah, either would work.
It's an 11.
11 is exactly what you needed. So I'm also going to have Cyrus roll a dexterity saving throw with advantage.
Hold tight.
If you roll just right, you'll land on the car.
14.
14. Would you rather land in safety or land on the car?
Safety.
Okay. So here's how this wild series of events goes. So Zyra, you hop in the driver's seat. Cyrus, you have just a moment's notice of like the sound of the car just changed. And you don't even like have time to turn around. Just some instinct tells you, and you fling yourself. One of the poles that was holding up the traffic lights and the street lights has been absorbed into this giant swampish tree. You just make this like almost supernaturally explosive leap and cling to the side of this tree as Zyra and Pokey go squealing past. From your perspective, you just see the taillights disappear back into the mist, and then you hear thud. You have entirely smeared one of these creatures across the front of Pokey.
Man, there's gonna be a lot to wash off.
It is entirely dead. It just does not have defenses capable of withstanding a full-size sedan. Just
Does that count as my action?
I would say you still have a bonus action.
Oh, okay, cool. Then I don't know. I don't have any fun runs. I'm gonna start singing. Actually, no, my phone hooked up, and so I changed the music, and I start playing Barracuda by heart.
I was thinking that or Lowrider.
Yeah. And an inspiration, a bardic inspiration ends up with Cyrus.
All right.
It just shoots out as he jumps out of the way.
I think that maybe Cyrus, you turn just in time to see Zyra go like, and just.
So we're gonna go with that.
All right. I'm going to drop one of the creatures off of the initiative because he's dead. All right. So that happened. So one of the creatures was confused by the minor illusion, and you hear it kind of clopping off. Oric, you're close enough, you can see it kind of and you can kind of see it like hunched over and like searching around and not finding anything. It completely wastes its turn. The next one, let's see, it's going to make a perception check, which it is not great at. It rolls a natural 1. It is cartoonishly trying to figure out where Cyrus just went. It was planning to go after him, and then he like vanished when the car peeled by, and it's like comically like searching around the tree, and you're like holding on to the tree about 10 feet up in the air as this thing is underneath you. The next one is the one that was hexed. It's going to make a wisdom save. It is having a one goat battle against fear because it just saw one of its compatriots run over. It got a 6. It's not quite ready to like full blown run away, but it is definitely not going to stay any closer to Pokey than it needs to. So it's going to kind of take a circuitous route and loop away from Pokey and towards the apartment. That leaves the two that are next to Lexi. They are not smart. They're not even going to bother trying to get flanking. The one that you hit, it actually like, and where you have like smashed it and you've opened up like shards of bone are poking through, and it just looks awful. From these new vents in its body, it expels more of this gas, You need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ten.
You are poisoned. And while you are poisoned in this way, you can take either an action or a bonus action, but not both, and you can't take reactions.
Question: how does her resistance to poison affect that? Is that just because
Because
damage?
rage.
It only affects damage.
Okay.
You do gather that. Well, no, you wouldn't necessarily know that. It is exuding this cloud. The effect is almost more like you're poisoned, but really it's a nauseating effect. Like it is so gross that it is pushing past even your legendary tavern keeper endurance. This is the worst thing you've ever smelled. If you were able to step away just a little bit, you might feel better.
Okay. How much damage did it do?
It didn't actually do any damage, so
Okay.
that's the good news.
Okay. So I don't have to like reduce any hit points or anything like that.
No.
I missed part of what you were saying. Okay.
Oh, sorry. The next one is going to attack. Wow, it rolled real good. It got a 15.
I have 15 armor.
So that'll hit.
Okay.
It'll help if I open character sheets. So it hits. It literally does 3 points of damage. So 1 point of damage after your ragingness. And it's going to attack again. It's an 18 to hit. But it's only going to do 2 damage after your ragingness. So the first creature exudes this aura, and there's just this slight moment of like, and this mist filling the air around you even thicker. And while you're distracted for just a second, the other goat creature comes running up through your blind spot and slashes with these gross claws and actually bites you. And it hits past this sort of gaslight around you. Underneath that is still that amber light, and when it hits it, it can't quite get there like it wants to, but you can feel sharp teeth. These are not placid herbivore teeth. This is something that rends and tears and eats flesh.
Yeah.
That is all of them.
Do I still have my held shot, or did dodging Pokey use up my reaction?
You specifically specified a hostile action. Yeah, I would say you could see, but you'd be attacking with disadvantage, but you might as well use it.
Okay.
For reference, you're about 50 or 60 feet from Lexi.
Okay. Uh, 10.
10 is just barely going to miss. Auric, you're far enough out, you can see something larger moving out in the mist. And it suddenly becomes much clearer because you can hear this massive like thud, 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 thud. And you see this massive shape like moving through the air and closer to the apartment. So now there is actually it would be jumping into sight range for Lexi. You see a 10, 12 foot tall, massive goat-esque creature, like Air Jordan leap, like 20 feet, You don't see the start of the jump because of the fog. You just see it like come down into the headlights from Pokey. It is like visibly sweating this misty fog off of its body. More of it anyway. All right. At the top of the initiative, everyone make a religion or arcana check.
10 Arcana.
4 religion.
21 Arcana.
22 religion.
All right. So the combat crew is distracted by their fighting. Cyrus and Lexi, not Lexi, Cyrus and Zyra, you realize two things. The first, I mean, probably Auric and Lexi have already come to this conclusion, but are not necessarily in a place to think it out. This seems like a demand, like what you've experienced before, where Cyrus and Zyra kind of push through. It is of a distinctly different quality than anything you've encountered before. And in fact, it doesn't seem like Fey magic. You're getting a feel at this point for what fairy magic feels like. There is a quite literally, magic is always sort of unearthly, otherworldly, but even the most vicious and brutal and ugly parts of fairy still have a little bit of that glitter and glimmer and glamour quality to it. The most brutish troll of fairy still has a little bit of that dream and illusion wrapped around it. This feels wrong. This doesn't feel like Fey magic at all. All right. And now, Cyrus, roll a 1d4. Two. All right. Good to know. So the flickering sort of gas fire that has been illuminating you all, it's almost like there's a breeze. It doesn't move the cloud, but it's almost like the cloud of this mist sort of sinuously swirls through the air. And you feel like there's something different about it now. And Auric gets to find that out firsthand. Auric, at the top of your turn, you're no longer illuminated, but you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, fun.
Woohoo.
How's a 13 do?
13 does it. For just a minute, what is something that Auric is very afraid of?
Bats.
All right. For just a second, you would almost swear that swooping through the mist around you are not just bats, gigantic fey bats from the depths of winter, bats that would swoop down and carry off whole livestock or children. They were the brutish and horrifying neighbors that your probably not your parents, but some older figure in your community would threaten you if you weren't behaving. These creatures would swoop down and carry you off. For just a second, you see them in the mist, and then, no, why would they be here? That's not right. And you're fine. So what would you like to do?
How many creatures do I see between me and the apartment, or closer to the apartment than me, I should say?
Approximately, really just two. There's one is now off to the side trying to figure out where that illusory voice came from. One has gotten behind you a little bit because it's trying to hunt around this tree / post for Cyrus. Zyra just road killed one. So really, there's one small one and this large creature in pretty much a straight line between you and the apartment.
Okay. I am going to quicken cast magic missile as a 2nd level spell. So 2 going to the one that seems to be still heading to the apartment, the one little one, and 2 going to the big one.
All right.
So that'll be a bunch of D4s. 3 damage for the first. No, 4 damage for the first one. Gonna add 1, Joe.
All right.
5 damage on the second.
All right.
3 on the third.
Oh, whoops. Hold on. I was doing it wrong. Okay. 3 on the third.
And 4 on the fourth.
4 on the fourth. The one that it's really close to the building at this point. And it is not looking at all. And the bolts just hit it in the back. And much like when the brewer's mallet hit, you see them like shear through it. And there's a fresh bit of gas now leaking from this wound in this creature. The larger creature takes the hits and kind of but continues to move forward.
Well, that's unfortunate. But since that was quicken casted, I still have an action.
Mhm.
So I will, as an action, firebolt at the big one.
Is Firebolt 120 feet?
Yes, it is.
All right, you are just in range. You are firing through a lot of mist, though, so that's probably going to roll with disadvantage.
All right. So that'll be a 24 instead of a 27.
Jeez. Yeah, that will hit.
2 damage.
um,
Cantrips, man.
you don't have fire mastery, do you?
Not yet. I think that comes later.
The bolt hits and it doesn't budge at all. It doesn't seem to have caused any damage whatsoever.
Did I at least make it angry?
You made it angry with the first hit. The second one, it like didn't even seem to turn around.
I should have gone for the small one. Oh well. I will move my 30 feet closer to the apartment.
All right. Make a perception check.
$19.
All right. So you roll really well. You spot a large tar pit out ahead of you. And so you don't run right into it and you don't get stuck at the edge. You are able to sort of angle around and make good use of your movement.
Okay. Move on off hitting. Mark it.
All right. It is Cyrus's turn.
Okay. Who? All right. So if I'm shooting at the ones near Lexi, it's going to be disadvantage again.
Yes, there's one much closer that you probably could get advantage against.
I want to know if I can get sneak attack on either of the ones on Lexi.
You would have disadvantage, and disadvantage always negates sneak attack.
Okay.
Let me try this. Just going to do something weird. Can you all see?
Oh, yes, we can.
Yep.
But
Where
I-
is forward?
but I can't tell what anything is.
I will zoom in 1 second. Oh, okay. Nope, this is not sustainable. When I pull this up, it makes the Zoom stream go crazy.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we have the Twitch stream up on mute on our TV, and we suddenly were like, oh, it's frozen.
Yep.
Yep.
Let me see if there's a better way to do that.
Is the map on Twitch?
No, but I can make it on Twitch.
We could stream that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. So hey.
All right. So is this,
Hold on. There it is.
are you not
wait.
subscribed?
With the thing every single time. So
Over here is Cyrus sort of clinging to the side of this whole turned giant tree. Here's the goatish creature close to him. Here is Lexi engaging the other two.
Okay.
Your functional sort of like clear line of sight is only probably like this-ish. And anything out past that starts to get a little fuzzy because of the fog.
Okay. All right, I guess then I'm gonna transfer my hex to the one that's under me and shoot it.
All right.
I found Pokey.
Yep. And there's like a smear right here that used to be a creature.
All right, so I rolled a 9 total, so I'm using my Bardic Inspiration, and that got me to 12.
12 will do it.
All right,
It is an unarmored creature. Nine damage. All right.
Hold on.
You,
hold on, not done.
oh yeah, it has to make a, can do a whole
It
bunch of
takes-
stuff.
It takes an additional, so that's 13 damage for the bow and the hex.
And it gets a
And
20 on the con save though.
what? It doesn't get to roll against hex.
No, not hex. When you use one of Zyra's modes of creation for an attack
Oh,
roll, it
yeah.
does that thunder burst.
Gotcha.
Does it still take damage, like half damage?
oh. Maybe not. No,
All right.
the con save or take damage.
But you hurt it real bad. Should mark which of these are hurt. All right. So that was bonus action attack. Would you like to move?
No.
All right. You maintain your position up. Oh, did you roll a wisdom saving throw at the top of your turn?
No.
Go ahead and roll that.
$12.
Roll a 1d8.
All right, well, this is getting weird because if I knew I failed,
I'm not going to mess with your attack,
Okay.
but it might force you to move.
okay. So it was like it just gets weird of little like, well, I could have rolled the bardic inspiration on that then. 2.
2. All right. Honestly, not bad. What is something that Cyrus is afraid of?
We'll say spiders.
You, for just a moment. Not for just a moment. Sorry, you failed. Coming around the edges of this pole-turned tree, you just see countless spindly limbs and glowing dots of eyes and big fangs that just, and you see it coming from both sides. And in a panic, you just leap down and go running towards Auric, actually. All right. Lexi, you are up.
All right.
And your poison means you can only do an action or a move, right?
Let's see.
I don't know. I mean, I'm right next to them, so I don't really need to move.
Good thing about barbarians, once you rage, you don't really need, you don't use that bonus action for much.
It's
Yeah.
action or a bonus action, but you also can move if you would like, which might potentially get you out of the stuff around you.
Or just hit it really hard.
Honestly, I think I'm just gonna hit it really hard.
But make your wisdom save first.
Do I have to make a wisdom save first?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. 10.
10. Let's see something about rage. I must be thinking about a berserker. All right. What is something that Lexi is afraid of?
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Something comes stalking out of the cloud, and it has this sort of rounded figure towering over you, but it is charred and smoking, and it has like burning orange eyes, and it opens a mouth, and the inside of the mouth is like melted strands of blackened marshmallow, and it just roll 1d8.
Seven.
All right, 7. Let's see. You're not going to be able to do 7, so we'll send you the other way. This thing is chasing you through the mist, and you just have to run and run.
Okay.
Bright side, you're no longer poisoned.
Sweet.
Barbarians surprisingly susceptible to fear.
I think it's berserker barbarians that eventually have like immunity or advantage while they're raging.
Mm-hmm. Level 20
All right.
barbarian could not get a Helm to Rask because he was too afraid for 10 rounds.
Yep. All right, that makes it Zyra's turn.
Cool. Can I see the map again? Where's the apartment?
The apartment is dead ahead of you. So what you're seeing is this larger dark area is the apartment building. And the sort of sketched out area is the apartment as you're seeing it through the window.
Oh, cool.
Run over the big one.
And just for reference on the spatial dynamics of this, it is a second floor apartment,
Okay.
but with the headlights sort of shining, you can actually see that this swampy, earthen, loamy grossness of ground seems to have almost ramped up to the building.
Okay. How far is the apartment and how far is the strange looming creature thing from me?
Strange looming creature is 45. Apartment is 70 in a straight line.
Okay. Good Lord, that's a really handy tool. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna start whispering along with my barracuda thing. It's starting to go into the it's starting to go into the chorus, the first chorus. And so I'm going to whisper along with it with the words and force the whisper into the head of this large creature. And as I'm doing that, it's going to effectively dissonant whispers the large creature at an upcast.
All right. What saving throw is that?
A wisdom 15.
It super fails.
Awesome. It takes. One. I have preferences. I find 8 plus 5 is 13 damage.
13.
What do I see happen?
And it's got to run from you, right?
Oh, yes. And since it failed, it needs to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Oh, no.
This is going to have unintended side effects.
Maybe I wanted to have moved forward a little bit before I...
Yeah, when so you're whispering this, and your whisper and the music of the car are amplifying each other, and as this sort of bass beat rolls out from Pokey, it is infused with this sibilant magic, and you see the creature, it's stalking forward, and then you see it and it turns, and it's like it notices you for the first time, and then you see it almost like twitch for a second, and then it crashes, scrabbling into Beery's apartment to get away from you.
Great. Awesome.
So when he started twitching, I thought he was about to start Thriller dance because he's like,
Different. That's a different spell. That's Otto's irresistible dance.
That's a very different direction.
There is a spell for that.
Yep. Cool. I'm gonna drive forward, and depending on whether or not I can see that tar pit, I'm gonna drive around it.
So the orangish here is the sort of tarish pit. The
Oh.
brown is where the street lights slash like
Oh, the tree. Okay,
yeah.
so I'm not gonna drive into it. Oh, I see. I'm not gonna drive into the tree.
Yeah, I won't even make you roll for that. You see the giant tree.
Okay, I'm gonna jump the curb, but stop next to the apartment building underneath that hole.
All right. You're like halfway across sort of the grass easement and the sidewalk,
Mhm.
right where the ground starts to suddenly like slope up to the window.
Yes, and I'm going to give Cyrus another bardic inspiration.
All right.
If we can remember to use it.
So how many of these? Yeah, most of those are still in the mix. You died though.
You know what?
Apparently, I want to roll 3s and 4s today.
Yeah.
All right. So the two that were fighting Lexi are very confused and are going to chase after the one that attacked, or the one that Cyrus attacked. Can't actually get to him again, so it is going to attack Lexi.
Fantastic.
Only a 13 on the first one, and only a 10 on the second.
Well, that's a miss.
So 2 could not get close enough. 1 misses. Let's see if this one has finally figured out that there is no screaming person. Nope. He's just a simple country goat.
Most effective cantrip ever.
And he's just like lost in the mist. Like this one that Auric hit with the magic missile is very hurt, but it still is not going to go after Pokey. It doesn't 100% seem to understand what Pokey is and is going to treat it as if it is a large, dangerous creature, and it's going to crawl through the window behind the other creature.
I mean, Pokey is a large, dangerous creature. Let's be real here.
Dissonant Whispers is only for 1 turn, right?
Yeah.
You see the large creature in the window, and there's almost like a of smoke, and it turns fully around and looks at you, and it is going to leap. It is about 10-15 feet up. No, it's not how floors work. It's 20 feet up. I'm going to have it make its attack roll, and then we'll see what happens.
Do you know a good mechanic? A good body shop?
Yeah.
Well, the good news is it rolled a natural 1. So we're going to say that it lands to the side of Pokey, since that is less harmful to you all. And it's going to kind of stumble, and its tail like whips across and smashes up against the side of the car, but it doesn't have its feet under it, and so the tail just kind of and doesn't even seem to scratch the paint.
I was gonna say it bounces off the tire.
All right, at the top of the initiative, Lexi, roll a d4.
I need to get like another 10 minutes.
Hmm.
They need like another 10 minutes. Anyway.
1.
A 1. All right. Oric, it is your turn, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, good. I'm actually good at that. How does a 16 do?
16 is fine. The strange anxiety and fear that sort of flared up just a moment ago is replaced as the air changes and takes on this this nauseating quality. You are tasting the air, and it's horrible, but you manage to keep it together. So what do you want to do?
Tastes like the kitchen when mom's cooking.
Don't insult your mother like that.
You never met the woman, dragon woman. Anyway, where am I?
You are very close to Cyrus, moving around one of the tar pits, and you are 80 feet from Pokey and the large creature attacking it, and about 100-ish feet from the apartment.
Okay. I'll do another magic missile. I'll upcast it again to 2nd level.
All
And
right.
1 at the one in the apartment and the other 3 at the big one.
All right.
So the one in the apartment is going to take 3 damage.
All right.
And the big one takes 12 damage.
Nice. The big one looks very hurt. So your magic missiles just unerringly streak through this mist, finding their targets regardless of the fog. And you hear as they slam into figures off ahead of you. That was action. Would you like to move or take a bonus action?
I will move closer. Do my full 30 feet. I'm not going to be able to engage in melee range, but I'll get closer.
All right. Very good. Cyrus, Constitution check.
Well, that's my 3rd for the night, so a 5.
Do you want to? No.
No, I'm not gonna beat it with the.
All right. So this sudden surge of fear fades, and you don't even know why you thought you were seeing those spider creatures. But you taste this. You taste the air all the way down the back of your throat. And it has the quality, not that you would know what it tastes like, but you would imagine almost of carrion or vomit, or that some sharp, acidic, burning taste all the way down the back of your throat. You start retching and reeling. So you still have your bonus action and you can still move, but you're going to spend your action dry heaving.
Cool.
Have bonus actions?
Yeah, I actually have several, but I don't have anything good to do with them without an action attached. I don't really want to go get. There didn't feel like there's anything good to do. I don't want to go. There's no point in getting closer to Lexi if I can't attack. I don't particularly want to just like take off and leave Lexi though to fight 30 people all on her own.
Just as a something you could do with your movement, you could potentially move behind one of those tree poles and use your bonus action to hide.
So, because I could dash towards the apartment. Yeah, sure. I guess I'll move back south and hide behind that one.
All right, roll a stealth check. And I would say you can roll it with advantage because there's a lot of vision obscuring happening.
19.
All right, you vanish into the mist.
But for the record, the other roll was a 4.
Jeez. I hate nights like that. Are you using the digital roller?
I'm doing a mix of both.
Jeez.
It's about even on 3s and 4s for both sets.
Some nights the dice just come after you. All right, Lexi, top of your turn, Constitution save.
Well, gee.
19.
19. You easily shrug it off. Compared to the worst things you've seen, this isn't that bad.
It's a Tuesday.
It's Tuesday night, you know. All right. So what am I close to that I can hit?
Looking right next.
Oh, there's one right next to me. Okay.
Yep.
Now I see where I am. All right. So smack that bad boy. Unnatural 20.
Dirty again.
Dirty again.
All right,
Close.
roll some damage.
12.
All right, you finish it off.
Sweet.
So you sort of come out of this strange moment of fear. Whoa, what am I doing? Oh, hey, look. Wham! And just flatten this creature cartoonishly with more gore, but you have essentially turned a humanoid shaped creature into a pizza shaped creature.
Very nice.
And
All
an
right.
accordion.
Yeah. Would you like to move or take a bonus action?
So say, what are my bonus actions even?
Raging.
I was gonna say 2-weapon fighting and raging.
Yeah.
So
And you've got the one big weapon, so.
yeah. So I think I'll probably well, I'm trying to think, is like my car is in one direction, but there are enemies closer to me in the other direction.
True.
So what would Lexi do? I mean, she would move, but which way would she move?
Enemies behind you that made you sick.
Yeah. But revenge.
But revenge.
I'm gonna go with revenge. So I'm gonna move towards the towards these other 2 idiots.
All right. Do you want to move into the cloud or see if it disperses when they come at you?
I think I will stay outside of the cloud for now.
All right. In that case, it is Dr. Skylark's turn.
Awesome. I am going to ignore the time limit on the iPad. And Dissonant whispers the damn thing again.
All right.
Oh, because it's directly next to me. Oh wait, no, hold on. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Thunderwave. I'm gonna like blast the sound up on the song and let the bass just like boom, 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 boom. And yeah,
All right. And is that a Constitution save?
it is 15.
Something for my speakers in college because he turned
Uh,
the bass up. That
So
was
I'm gonna
fun.
say make an Arcana check.
I'm gonna check. Great. That's an 11.
All right. Lexi, roll a d20 with a plus, we'll say a +4 modifier, and this is Pokey's Constitution save.
Lord.
Oh no.
10.
Here's the choice I'll offer you.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Zyra decide in this moment. So you start to cast this spell. You start to infuse the bass running through the car with this thunderous energy. You have a split second where you realize if you really are going to hurt this creature, you are probably also going to badly damage Pokey in the process. Are you more interested in preserving Pokey or harming the creature?
Why would I hurt the card?
Because you're casting an area effect spell from inside the car.
Okay. But all the windows are open. See, so because the force of the spell is still coming through me.
Well, when did you roll the windows down?
Oh, they've been down.
Oh. I'd have been having you roll for the fog.
Oh. I mean, all the doors opened. I figured that was okay.
Well, it's I don't know why I would have assumed this, but I thought people were shutting them behind them.
I mean, yeah, sure, but you know.
I would hope that you moved my car once the doors were shut and not while they were wide open.
If I need to, I'll like pop up in the sunroof and stand up in the middle of the sunroof and cast the spell.
All right. Well, it rolled a 22 on its Constitution saving throw.
Oh Lord.
Zyra's gonna get relegated to the back seat after this. No more shotgun for her.
Well, it still takes damage. It takes half of 9.
All right. So you pop a hand up and kind of project this out through the sunroof, and it catches the creature, not in full though, because you're kind of aiming up and around Pokey. Man, I'm really throwing off my camera when I move. It takes a solid hit. It is looking quite hurt. So one of the creatures has disappeared into Beery's apartment. Another one is going to roll again and see if it has figured out. It rolled another natural 1 for a total of 0. It is just off in the fog somewhere looking for this woman.
It is hell bent on getting
This random screaming woman.
non-existent screaming woman.
This thing is going to move out of its area.
Seriously.
They move forward to attack Lexi.
Unsecured object. Via the description of Thunderwave.
See, but it's fine inside it, so it's secured.
Your AC is 15, right, Lexi?
My AC is 15.
All right. The first creature does hit you with both attacks.
Okay.
That's been my assumption. It's how it's
So 2 and then 2. So this creature but again, it tries to bite through the amber light coming off of you, and it just barely even breaks skin. You take 2 points of damage from each hit.
Okay,
The other
so-
one attacks. 11 on the first, 5 on the second. So the first one catches you. The second one you're ready for. And as it gets close, you just kind of body check it with the ancient brewer's mallet, and it.
Nice.
All right, we are down to the very injured largest one. Zyra, you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh crap. 4.
So you have an epiphany, and your epiphany comes through suffering. Whatever this mist is seems to have this creature as one of its foci. This close, there is a sickening, it goes beyond just like a mist. There is an aura of rot and decay just radiating off of this creature. You take 6 necrotic damage. And it's going to try and whip its tail at you.
Yeah.
It only gets a 9. So it can't figure out the car. Like it keeps like the tail seems prehensile, and it like hits the metal, hits the metal again, like pokes at the glass, and just can't seem to figure out. It sees you, but it doesn't know what to do about it.
No. Fishing for.
It bleats in frustration. All right. At the top of the initiative, Zyra, roll a d4.
Yeah. 3.
3. All right. All right. Auric, at the top of your turn, make a dexterity saving throw.
Woohoo! 17.
All right.
Very nice.
This time you're sort of expecting it, and you start to see the mist change. And you actually can follow it this time. Parts of the mist suddenly like cohere, almost like they're being pulled inward and becoming thicker. And you watch these strands form. And it was the strands that hit you before that caused that gas flame. And you're able to sort of smoothly step to the side and let it flow around you.
All right.
So you are 55 feet from the large creature. You are 75 feet from the apartment. You are 70 feet from Lexi and the 2 small goats.
From where I'm standing, can I see the one inside the apartment?
Make a perception check with, I'll say the headlights of the car are off settings. Just make a straight perception check.
It was almost a 20, 14.
14. You don't see anyone in there. Not from where you're at.
Unfortunate. That big one is just a big distraction, so I'm going to get rid of it with another upcast magic missile.
All right.
All of them, we get the big one. So that'll be 15 damage.
How do you want to do it?
Well, the first one smacks the tail off of the car. Then one goes into the side, one whips around into the other side, and the final one goes up over and then does a cheeky little duck underneath and does an uppercut through its chin.
All right. So
Right.
it's trying to swat them out of the air like bugs, and it's always just a second too slow, and it's just looking around, and there's a moment of very animal bestial desperation, and the final one, and this sort of red black ichor just fountains, and this thing, and boom, falls to the ground next to Pokey and is gone.
All right.
When it dies, you actually see very clearly, for the first time, the fog thins dramatically all the way around you.
All right. So that was my action. With my move, I will continue moving closer to the apartment.
All right. All right. Cyrus, it is your turn.
All right. So what's left?
There are two smaller goatish creatures, one of them very injured, and fighting with Lexi. There's another small one that has disappeared into the apartment.
Okay.
The one that wandered off into the mist is just gone. You don't know what's happening over there.
He may find his way back eventually. You know.
Yeah, that could be interesting later.
I was gonna say, like, a couple weeks from now, he shows up. And I mean, like, in-game weeks, not like player, not like session weeks.
Is my hex on one of those?
The one that your hex was on was killed by Lexi last turn.
Okay. All right. So one's hurt, one's not.
Well, it's been a rough night.
And I'm hidden from both of them.
Yes, you're already hidden.
All right. I'm going to hex the unhurt one.
All right.
So that's a 15 to hit.
All right.
So how's 21 damage sound?
You obliterate it. Lexi, you just hear like, and an arrow flies incredibly close to you and hits this thing. And there's a cacophonous burst of bird sound and like shadowy feathers raining, and the creature, its eyes go wide like it's seeing something that you don't, and it just goes and then just goes instantly pale and falls over dead.
The most pitiful goat noise in the history of goat.
And I'm gonna head towards the apartment.
All right.
And that was the uninjured one.
Yeah, just instant obliteration.
Note to self: do not make Cyrus angry.
O plus X plus sneak attack.
And it's only gonna get worse. All right. It is Lexi's turn. You have one injured goat next to you, and then you will have cleared the field in your immediate vicinity.
Oh, we going for the goat.
All right.
Jack.
Some of these that are dead. Oops.
Man, I only rolled a 9.
Womp womp.
To see someone else's.
It does not quite hit.
Yeah.
This creature
By the
is
one that's died.
it is battered and hurt, but it has a cornered animal fury. All right, Zyra.
Yeah. Can I see the thing that's in the apartment?
Make a perception check.
Oh, lovely. That's a nat 20. Oh, so it'll be a 27.
All right. You see something odd.
Okay.
Beery is nowhere to be seen. And the creature that is inside doesn't really seem to be doing anything. It's like its goal was to get in, and like now it doesn't know what to do.
Okay.
So the punchline is we should have just left him alone.
That being said, I'm going to Dissonant Whispers it.
All right.
So wisdom save of 15.
It gets a 5.
It takes 8 psychic damage.
How would you like to kill this goat?
It realizes it does not belong. And in its unbelonging, it ceases to exist.
All right. Your words touch something inside of it and convey a profound sense of wrongness. And the creature, it doesn't explode. It doesn't like dissipate. It's almost like it just fades and is gone.
Lovely. Yeah, I'm gonna stay in the car. Actually, no. I'm not. I'm gonna see if I can run up into the apartment. Is it?
Yeah, you can easily make it up there.
Yes, I want to go in.
All right. Since you've already made a perception check and used an action, I'll have you make another perception check next turn or investigation to kind of take a look around. At this point, Cyrus and Lexi, each of you just roll a flat d20.
I got 6.
12.
Uh,
So
s-
15.
I guess you're close enough to. Oric, roll a d20 as well.
Oh.
Three.
Yeah.
That's all right. This was just to see which of you gets to it first. So this remaining goatish creature suddenly realizes that it is alone. all of it, everything else is gone. The mist is clearing. It has an enraged barbarian in its face. There's some kind of draconic fire creature out in the distance somewhere. There's the giant metal beast that destroyed more than one of its companions. The creature that was disgorged from the beast that seems to be like speaking unmaking into their very being. And it has a sudden moment of existential horror. Lexi, you're gearing up with the mallet, about to end this creature's life, and suddenly there's like a slow motion race. The hammer's coming down. Auric, you manage to steal the big kill, and you turn around. You're like, I'm gonna get this one too. Firebolt is streaking through the air in slow motion. And Cyrus, you just smoothly turn and it almost like the firebolt is already past you, and your arrow somehow just like around snakes like right under Lexi's arm and into this thing's chest, and you kill it right before the hammer comes down.
Yeah, but it still gets smashed to pieces with the hammer.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if the arrow gets there first. I get to explode it.
Firebolt, on the other hand, just kind of.
Yeah. All right. You all have cleared the field. The mist has dissipated, but whatever this strange environmental effect is has not fully faded. There's still this sort of melded space happening. At this point, Zyra, would you rather make a perception check or investigation?
Perception every single time.
All right.
Even with that, it's a 12.
So looking around, you very much have the image of a young woman living a fairly Spartan bachelorette life. You see a love seat and a small TV, a low like 2-shelf bookshelf. There's a like futon bed in one corner. There's a tiny, generously calling it a kitchenette. There's a small table for one. You do see there does seem to be a door off into another space. Do you want to look around more in here or go see what else there is?
I can clearly see the room is not having anybody in it.
You can't see or hear anyone else at this point.
I'm gonna go through the door.
All right. I'll assume the rest of you are moseying that way, unless you want to investigate something else.
Yeah, I'll be moseying that way.
Give
It feels
everybody a
awkward
chance to look
for
around.
a young woman's apartment.
Is there anything else you all would like to look at?
I'm gonna stay in the love seat area because I'm assuming the back area is like a bedroom.
No, the futon is the bedroom.
Anything else anybody wants to look at?
Yes. I guess I'll go to the other room too.
All right. This room does have, you do see a bed in here. There's really not much else here. There's like one small dresser. Let's see. Auric, would you have shared the pictures you got?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You all recognize there's a handful of pictures. They're actually like face down. You don't know if they've been knocked over by the sudden whatever that just happened here, or if they were intentionally like laid flat. And you see a couple of like pictures of Beery and friends. You see several pictures that look more recent, like very recent. They're not even like framed; they're just like photo printer prints of her and other what looks like Radiant Dawn people. The pictures that are down, when you lift them up, you see, I guess I can quit sharing the screen. Oh, how do I unshare? Oh, whoops, I'm not sharing. I'm streaming. That's the difference. I was like, why can't I fix this? There we go. I probably shouldn't open my entire notes page with the Twitch stream running.
I see nothing.
So you see several older pictures. The oldest pictures have that kind of grainy quality. They look pre-digital, or maybe just like early digital. You see a woman in her probably like her early to mid 20s, with blonde hair, slightly curly blonde hair, with a man of about the same age, but at first it's hard to tell how old he is because his hair has a very distinct silver tint, almost like he's gone impossibly early gray. And you see the two of them holding up maybe like a 2 or 3 year old girl, sort of in the air between them. You see a shot slightly later of all the same folks, a little bit older. The child is now more recognizably Beery Caroline. It looks like she's probably in her mid-teens at that point. And in the picture, the blonde-haired woman is now holding a small blonde-headed infant, baby, not quite toddler, somewhere in that range, still in the holding range. There's one last picture. It looks like the most recent. It looks like Beery graduating high school. The blonde woman, the hair is now going slightly gray. The small child, the infant now looks, it's like a 4 or 5 year old boy with sort of brown blonde hair. He seems to be like climbing up the side of Beery's back while they're trying to take this picture. The man is conspicuously absent. And that's what you notice. There is one more room. It looks like maybe a master bathroom further in.
Sure, gonna check it. We did see Beery. Like, I'm forgetting what the last thing we saw was.
The last thing you saw before everything went strange, Cyrus and I think was it Cyrus and Auric? I think only Zyra was the one who caught the environment was changing. Everyone else was looking really closely at Beery at the table in the apartment. And with all of the distractions, it's hard to say. You don't remember if you saw her again after that. You just know that about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, right before it went started going weird.
Yeah, that was the last you saw of her,
We
as
saw
far
her.
as you know.
We saw her at the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the bathroom is pretty plain. This is not a nice apartment complex. This is honestly maybe even a little bit less nice than where Auric is staying. It's Auric's place is outdated, but it's well kept. This place is not well kept. You can see little touches where it seems like she's tried to make it less worn and Spartan, and it's not helping very much. There's a shower / tub, a towel rack. There's a small like travel bag thing hung on the back of the door that seems to have all of her toiletries. There's a sink with a little like cabinet space underneath, a toilet, a window. Wait, no, there's no window. That's inside. Sorry, there is no window. What do you want to do?
I'd like to pull out the Finder Keeper and cast Locate Objects on the autographed business card I gave to Beery.
Make an Arcana check. And I'm going to say with advantage because you have this item.
Yeah. $13.
13. So you don't get a super close read, but that in and of itself is telling. Right now, you were one of the ones who realized this was a demand, right?
Mhm.
Yes, or something like it. You know that this is not quite a truly extraplanar space, but is kind of halfway in between. The feedback you get from the Finder's Keeper, Beery is not in this sort of demi-plane anymore. She seems to be at some metaphysical distance and also some geographical distance and is moving further away fairly quickly.
Okay. I don't know how to end a domain.
Would I know?
Make an Arcana check.
How's an 18 do?
18 does pretty good. So you would know that there's a couple of different forms of this sort of thing. Most of them are caused by a specific personality. It's a powerful fae using their power to pull the human world closer to their literal actual domain and fairy. It's creating an overlapping space where the territory in which they are most powerful intrudes into the mortal world. In that case, usually killing or banishing the most powerful creature undoes the demand. If it is still there, for the most part, there's two options left. One, it could be naturally occurring. Sometimes this just happens where there are thin places between planes. Sometimes it happens where a gate is starting to form. You don't feel like that's the case. This was quick. This was also acted upon very quickly. You think if this was sort of a gradual, natural thing, it would have been a while before creatures were intruding in this space. That leaves the last option. You would suspect then, in the absence of those other two, that some kind of spell or artifact is sustaining this space. You suspect that there is some kind of focus somewhere in this vicinity that is maintaining this space.
Okay. I relayed all that to the party and start looking for the focus.
All right. Everybody make an investigation check.
14.
17.
10.
20.
All right. So you all kind of toss the space and dig through, and you find three things. In the back of the top drawer of the dresser, you find, we'll say Auric finds this because of course he would. You find it's like a holy symbol of metals woven together in serpentine forms to create a circle. There's almost a hum as you pick it up. Let's see. And then what did the rest of you get?
20.
10, 20.
17.
So Zyra and Lexi, you all poke your head into the closet. And there's a lot of different clothes in here. You get the impression of someone who dresses alternately very casually and maybe at a previous point somewhat conservatively. But that's not important because what you see hanging in the very back is a crisp, bright white hoodie. Cyrus, you are really, it's amateur stuff, drawers, closets. Of course, there's things in there. You're digging deep. You've been like hitting all of the cabinets in the kitchenette. You've been getting like under the couch. You've been really like tearing this place up. And you notice as you're walking sort of from room to room, there's still a little bit of that mist and that fog in the air. And you wouldn't notice it except you went back and forth a couple times. It gets thicker as you go from the kitchenette and sort of that living room space into the bedroom. It's a little bit thicker, but then into the bathroom, it's even a bit thicker there. And you look around, you're pushing stuff aside, and you open the cabinet space under the sink. And there is a small there's a small space under there. It looks like all of the cleaning things that would normally and bathroom supplies that be found there have been pulled out. There is a small circle inscribed in a reddish brown something inscribed into the bottom of this cabinet space. More symbols have been painted around the edge and then in the interior of this circle. And laying on top of it and smoking pretty noticeably now are charred, they're bones. They look like humanoid bones, and they are charred in places. And in the places that it's not charred, they look black and glassy, almost like obsidian. And the whole thing is smoking gently, and it smells it's that fetid, sulfurous smell is distilled to right here.
Okay. So bones and a circle.
Yes, and the bones seem to have been arranged somewhat neatly to form like a structure that goes up. And sitting on the top of it is a partially shattered skull in the same material. And it seems to be a humanoid skull, but very noticeably, it has sharp rows of teeth and horns that curl back. One of the horns is like partially smashed away along with part of the skull.
All right, go on to Mage Hand, grab the skull, and disrupt the pile.
All right. As you push it aside, the second that the bones like slip past the edge of the circle, everything goes back. You suddenly hear a lot of confused sounds, and most noticeably, someone yelling, "Who parked their freaking car here?"
God damn it, if I get towed.
I just gotta move it before someone shows up.
I assume the rest of you come take a look at this.
Yep.
Weird. Does the runes look anything like the rune circle that the Blake kid was doing?
Everyone make a religion check.
11.
8.
19.
12.
All right. So everyone except Cyrus, you're at least able to say this doesn't look like Fey magic. You've been seeing quite a bit of this, Auric more than most. This does not look Fey. Cyrus, you have to sort of throw your mind back, and you're reminded of a briefing that you had to attend that was actually something your mom had actually helped prepare. They had dredged up a bunch of artifacts and documents out of the archives, the National Archives, things that were old enough to be historical artifacts, but that had been considered, again, sort of mythological, folklore, things that were maybe invented after the fact by storytellers or, people of a religious bent. And you remember this briefing, and you saw all these examples of here is different kinds of historical Fey artifacts. You saw silvery blades that were untarnished after 1,500 years. You saw diagrams of Fey magic. You saw illustrations of spells that had been used during the war. But they showed some other things too. You saw some examples of draconic magic, illustrations depicting not dragonborn, but full dragons over the land. You saw all kinds of strange things. Stories of elemental creatures, stories of stout dwarves from beneath the earth, of genies and unicorns and just all manner of unusual things. And there was one item that seemed to be by itself. And it was presented as the only verified surviving example of fiendish magic in the entire archive. And it looked almost exactly like this. And that's where we're going to stop for the week.
Okay.
I like being able to share the map, but I'm going to have to figure out a way to not pull up all of my notes, like, you know, just flash everything that I've got on here. All right. So I will let you all ponder that, and we will come back to it next week.
Yep.
So I'm going to kill the stream. Goodbye, internet. Stream off. And